Hello, welcome back to Indoor Mania. So we're going to continue work on Pirate's Cove, or Pirate's Harbor, or whatever we're calling it. Still don't have a name on it. But today I'm just going to work on a couple projects. I'm going to work on building the station for the water coaster, and I'm going to build some details here and there for the land. And so my first thing to fix, in my opinion, was the water coaster going through the ground, because I don't like the default tunnels that coasters make when they go through. So I decided to make a trench and then a normal wooden bridge. So you see the coaster go under and then drops itself into the water. So that's kind of the basic idea here, was just kind of dress it up a little bit, make it a little bit more interactive with the path and it going underground, because I feel like interaction with pathways and or other coasters just seems to be more cool that way. And it kind of like a preview of what the ride's gonna give you if you stand in line or you want to watch your family member go on it or something, your friend. So that was kind of the idea behind making a trench and having the coaster go underneath it. So just figuring out, well, pathways and some other things like that. So on to building the actual station. Now I had a couple ideas for how to make this a pirate station. So first thought was it was maybe going to be a ruined fortress. Then I changed my mind a little bit. The second was a flipped upside down pirate ship. They're using like the hull of it to use it as a foundation or something, and so that's what I kind of did. This idea was originally from another user. His name is Pierre, and he did this before on the River Rapids challenge. He made a pirate themed one called Blackbeard's Rapids, I think. I'm not sure. It's in the game now because it got accepted in the challenge, but his was really cool. It was all pirate themed. Most of my pirate inspirations has come from him, and I like how he did some of the little little details here and there of the station. So I kind of copied that same idea. So I'm gonna make a flipped upside down pirate ship, and it's gonna be like there's gonna be a tower outside of it. You'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna thank him for this, like most of the inspiration for building this build. But I had fun doing it, and I might do what I really want to do is build like a shipwreck cove or something with like a whole bunch of ships like stacked on top of each other, or ships that are kind of like, well, yeah, ships stacked on top of each other like an island, and they're all pirate ships and a theme park's built in it or something. I don't know. It's just an idea, but it's nice to think of things like that. Here I'm just gonna work on the half a fortress, because I also thought that maybe half the fortress would work too. So I did half a fortress and half a flipped over pirate ship, and then I just did some normal groundwork. Now, doing this technique with the flipped pirate ship is going to break some immersion, maybe if you say. Like if you had the bright camera mod or the better perspective mod, I have to use cylinders to make the bottom of the boat, and there's no such thing as half cylinders, and so it's going to actually bleed through the bottom, and it's not going to be really realistic. But again, that's why I like the isomorphic view of this game, is that you can hide things here and there, so that's kind of the cool thing about it. But here's the bottom of the ship. I'm going to add some, I don't know what you would call this, are these like straps that hold the ship together maybe, or something, or like planks? I'm not sure, but I think adding stripes like that adds more detail than just leaving it blank, because again, this game has no textures on certain of its objects, most of its objects, so adding texture on it gives it a better detail, I believe. So when you want to build something that wants more detail, you should at least try to put texture on it or something, or you add a little bit of a blemish here and there, like with a plain roof, add a chimney, a window, maybe a border to add accent to it. It's not just plain and empty. that's kind of, I go for that here too. So it's just a very, that's not plain anymore because I added texture to it, but I also added these windows to give it like, they've already built into it, so they kind of like chiseled out holes and then built some new windows, and so it's like some type of mixed like hideout or something, kind of the idea. So yeah, it's nothing like, I want to say it again, it's nothing too crazy. In my opinion, it's nothing crazy, but nothing like some of my other projects that I'm working on. My other projects. I shouldn't talk about those yet because those are still like in pre-planning phases, and I'm still figuring out if I can pull them off or not. So moving on to doing my favorite thing in the world, rock formations. So I plan that most of the water coaster will go through like some type of volcanic mountain range. So I decided to build a volcano. You'll see in a little bit after I finish this wonderful station, finishing up the simple details here and there. I don't think I can change any. No, I'm not going to change anything. I already sent the map over to Coaster B to take a look. He's going to take a look, and then he's going to add his custom support stuff to most of the coasters and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Over here, I decided to. I felt like there wasn't enough buildings. Like if this was a pirate village, I need like buildings on top of buildings or something, or like places of work or places of play. So I decided to build I'm going to build a hut underneath the track here. Not sure what the hut could be. I didn't make a storyline for it. I don't usually do that, but adding a storyline to your builds gives it some more grounding again. That's what I like about adding story. Because you're here trying to tell a story with the scenery. So you can see here with the station, I already pointed out that they flipped a pirate ship over. They use that as a makeshift building, and it's next to a ruined fortress, and so they use that as their fort, basically their pirate fort, something like that. So it's kind of the idea of storytelling with scenery. So just building simple pillars to give myself the layout of the building. Usually I try not to go full-on square buildings, but you can't sometimes get away with that with Architect, but in this case it's okay. So pirate building, squares, it's like western stuff too. It's going square buildings, stuff like that. A lot of wood and timber, some stonework. What else would pirate theming be? So lots of green trees. Over here I like this, what I did here. So I did a cylinder, placed a little bit below the ground, and it made it like a little bit of a prop display spot so that the guests, if you were waiting in line, you would interact with this stuff. So I'm thinking like at Disneyland, there's some places in some of the queue lines that you interact with some of the scenery, or you get to look at it up close. And so that was kind of the idea of doing this roundabout, because you're coming through the queue. It's an interactive queue line before you go on the coaster. I almost forgot. I named the coaster because I felt like I needed a name, and Coaster B didn't give me any specific instructions to name anything, but I thought, hey, I should call it the Kraken, because Krakens are pirate stuff. And so that's the name of the roller coaster, because later on there is a Kraken down. There's a Kraken in this ride, because I built a Kraken, you'll see later. So some little bit of forest screens I'm adding here, just making more jungle feel, because jungle has a lot of trees and bushes. Here I'm going to build the main marquee for the roller coaster, the Kraken. So I'm just going to build a very simple wooden, wooden, words escape from me, wooden sign, oh my gosh, and then using the text from the game and just named it the Kraken, and then voila, it's the Kraken. Now keep in mind when you do sign stuff, try to make sure that it doesn't bleed on the other side, because it kind of looks weird when it bleeds. It goes backwards, and so it's kind of why it's a little bit propped out in the front here. I used a little bit of the pirate mod more often in this build, because some of the items in there are pretty cool. There's even benches included in this pack. I didn't know that until I was like strolling through it, and I'm like, oh cool, benches. They look pretty nice. They're made of planks, wood. It's pretty cool. So, very simple sign. It says the Kraken. I think it looks good, and everything is perfect. So now on to building our wonderful Kraken. Now the Kraken, I built a version of the Kraken before in a old build called Kraken Pit, which was a floorless coaster that I built for just for the fun of it. I made it, and it's on the workshop actually. So I kind of based it off the same design that I did. So it's just a lot of spheres at different sizes and things like that, and then I made a maw at the bottom, and I felt like this was the perfect spot for it, right next to my volcano that I built earlier. So very, very simple, quick. Well, it wasn't a quick build. It was very tedious because I had to make sure that each block for each sphere was a little bit different size, and then changing the angle of my camera gave me better perspective of where I wanted the tentacles to go, and I wanted to also make sure the tentacles weren't bleeding into the track or doing collision with the track, so I wanted to try to still make this as realistic as possible. The teeth are basically made of just cones at different sizes and different elevations, and I think it looks nice. I could have gone the extra mile by doing some suction cups on the tentacles, but I felt it's just a lot of work, and I didn't really feel like getting into doing all that tentacle work, and I don't know. I'm kind of torn on maybe doing it later. I don't think I am, because I already said that to goes for me, but it's just something that I could have maybe done if I wasn't as lazy, which I'm trying not to be as lazy when I work on projects this big. But it's been a busy week for me personally, so kind of crazy going back and forth on this map. But I had fun doing it. I had just doing a collab with somebody is just fun because you get to interact with their reactions and stuff like that. Now, have you noticed that there was a map change? So I decided to build off map and build a pirate ship. Now, this pirate ship was not originally, this pirate ship was originally designed by me, but the ideas and the techniques used for this again is from a user named Pierre. He made a pirate ship for his River Rapids build challenge, and so I kind of pulled inspirations from his pirate ship stuff, and so I'm going to build a pirate ship for Pirate Cove, and I built it off of a sandbox map because I felt I needed to separate it from the map right now and just kind of work on the ship, and also my frames were better when I'm on an empty map, so I did that. And I'm just going to show you basically I'm building the hull first, and then giving a basic shape of the back and the front of the ship. So usually the back of the ship is a little bit higher than the front. I used the half sphere at the bottom to be basically the back of the ship and the front of the ship, so that would be the bow? The bow. Oh my gosh, I should know ship terms, but I don't anymore. Well, regardless. So I'm just going to build the basic bottom of my ship, and then I'm going to build about, I don't know, I built 4 masts, yeah. So here's my cylinders at the bottom to give it that curved look. It's also cool about how the perspective of this game kind of tricks your eye a little bit. You're building the front of the ship with staggered pieces of spheres, and then I quickly put in the floorboards and some cannons to give myself a scale, because I really like that the cannons in this game are perfectly scaled and they work really well to be put on a pirate ship or any other ship in general, because I've built now 3 ships. 2 of them are on the workshop. This one is not, but it can be. I should put it on the workshop. Yeah, I'm going to put it on the workshop later. I did a little bit difference with this pirate ship. I added a giant ramming bow in the front, or a ramming bow, or ramming something. Well, it's like it ram ship, so it's up in the front. So it's a thing that you'll ram ships in or cut through them or something. So I decided that because this is a bigger pirate ship, it's not as like a, let's say, realistic, a small one. Speaking of pirate ships, there's my other pirate ship that I built. I pulled it out to give myself some reference shots because I was kind of having difficulty imagining or imaging what I needed to do next for the pirate ship. So I pulled it out, plopped it down. It was nice to have it there because it was a different size. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to build this pirate ship a little bit bigger. Like this is maybe the more grand pirate ship or something. So that was kind of the idea here. So I had some issues with my masts. I was figuring out some basic spacing issues between sails and the line, or the like the wooden poles up this mast. Oh my gosh, I should know words. But I think this worked out really, really well. The sails are made of a whole bunch of shapes and are like imitating to be wrapped up. Again, this is not my technique, this is someone else's. And I liked how he did the technique really well. So it really pulls together looks like they're rolled up, tied away, and the ship's waiting at dock. So I decided to do the same thing for this ship too, because they're going to be docked in Pirate Cove, right off into the water part. And that's kind of just basic idea of experimenting with shapes. Again, that's what you should be doing. Experiments with pieces is always a good thing. Like go onto a map, like Sandbox or something, and just kind of play with pieces. It's fun time when you do that. Also can be frustrating. Just what else to talk about? Nothing much, but finishing up this sail. Now I only built one sail, and then I did blueprinting to quicken up my workflow, because doing it independently is very time consuming. I think this pirate ship build was about 2 hours, maybe 3, I think. I can't remember. The cables, or the rope that you see on the sails, are cable pieces from the sci-fi set. So I use those as my cable ties, or my ties, basically. I didn't want to use mods for this build because, I don't know, I have a mixed feeling with mods. I like mods sometimes, and I like mods not sometimes. I feel like when you use mods, you sometimes lose the creativity part of a build. And so I kind of didn't do any mods on this ship. So it's free. It's mod free for everybody if I put this on the workshop, which I'm going to. It also kind of gets you to think outside the box with the pieces already enabled. Except for that, I have Construction Anarchy on all the time, which is a fun mod to have. I truly enjoy that mod. The mod's a great mod to have, and I've already said this before. But I think I put mods on it later when I put it in the map. Like I put some more barrels down for the Pirate mod or something. I know that the Pirate mod has rope in it, so I might. Oh yeah, the rope. I should put rope on it or something. But again, I already sent this to Coaster B. Finishing up the front sail, and then we'll finish up the back sails. And this ship will be sitting inside of Pirate Cove in like the harbor area. Some other things that I got to build on the map that I did not get to record was I made another tavern with a restaurant in it and a skull rock that's on an island in the harbor. And then I did some finishing details here and there with like trees and more props and things like that. I know that the mod author for the pirate the pirate set, is adding some new stuff later. He said he was going to add some like wooden plank roofs or something, or wooden walls, and I saw a screenshot on Reddit. It was pretty cool looking. And I was thinking to myself, can I make plank roofing out of scenery from Parkitect? And I'm gonna experiment, but it's kind of an idea of what I'm gonna try to figure this out. Here we go, putting in the actual pirate ships inside the harbor. There was two ways this could have gone. I could have had the pirate ship exactly like lined up with the swinging pirate ship ride. I felt like that was kind of like following the same pattern, so I decided to push them straight forward and then make this dock. And then I'm going to place the second pirate ship right next to it very soon. And yeah, this is Pirate Cove so far. Oh no, Pirate Cove's finished, sorry. And I will show you a very quick overview of what I built, and then you'll see what Coaster B does with it and see his reactions later on. So I'll leave you guys here and onto the overview. Bye.